So, Stephen,
Yes.
why are people so excited nowadays to come to the Middle East and to register their businesses in the Middle East?
Okay, well, I mean, look, if you look at the journey that the Middle East has happened in the last, say, 25 years, given Dubai specifically as an example, effectively 30 years ago, there was pretty much nothing here. Then with His Highness's desire and his vision, and they changed to Dubai to be one of the top global trading hubs and places for foreign business. Effectively now, the UAE especially is the gateway to the Middle East. But now also with that, you're seeing now the growth of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is an even bigger interesting opportunity. I always say to clients that when they ask about, Saudi or the United Arab Emirates and why, it's kind of like, I almost think it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Tell us a little bit more, actually, since we're talking straight, about it. Tell us a little bit more about Safari Star.
Okay, good. So Safari Star. Safari Star initially was a business that was doing generally tax and VAT business. Originally set up in China from my two founders, their husband and wife team. Yeah. Very much a family organization. But that was what we were, a global tax VAT consultancy. We've grown the business now substantially. We then decided, because there was a real link to be able to do business setup, because yes, we can do your VAT registration, which VAT is obviously a tax that is a direct tax. You can't get out of that. But also when companies there are also looking to expand into new regions, we decided to create a business unit, one to assist companies in all of the processes, which is quite complex to set up in the United Arab Emirates. And now also we have a business unit now where we have a team on the ground in Saudi as well. Yeah. So to give you an overview, so we currently operate in over 10 countries globally. We have actually offices in total. We have, I think it's around 16 offices actually now. The initial base is starting in China, so we have 3 or 4 offices across China, but everywhere from Europe, Mexico, South America. Yeah, we're kind of global in that sense.
I could say, honestly, you deal with the things that nobody wants to deal with. Yeah. Taxes, VAT, as well as now business registration. So thank God for that.
Well, we're actually going even more, opening our business units even more to that, because currently we're under construction with a co-working space in Riyadh.
Yes.
Which
I'm really excited about. So yeah,
it's going to be amazing, because what we're looking to do is a business consultancy, really, or a business management. So we want to be a one-stop for every client's business need.
Definitely, as you know, because we've worked with Safari Star for quite some time now, our main focus, and people who are going to be watching this video, are Amazon sellers. This is our passion.
Yes.
So let's discuss, because we've done so many videos on the channel about how somebody can become an Amazon seller, what they need to do from a technical sense as to where they need to go to open and register and become an Amazon seller. But it's always a mystery, because there's so many different people out there. Some people are living in the UAE, some are not living in the Middle East. So let's get started with Amazon in the UAE first. If somebody wants to get started and to become a seller on Amazon in the UAE, they obviously need a business. They can start as an individual though, and then when they want to transition, they can transition into becoming a professional seller with a business entity. What does it take to register a business in the UAE?
In the UAE specifically, so actually we've taken away a lot of the headache for that, and something that all of your clients in the Amazon Seller Society will be able to take advantage of now is we've actually put together a purpose-built e-commerce package as such. When it comes to the UAE, for example, it's quite a minefield. It's very different to Saudi Arabia because you have a multitude of different free zones to set up under.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the confusion. Because
Exactly.
everyone always says, Crystal, which free zone? Which is the best free zone? And yeah, the answer is always, I don't know.
Well,
It depends.
It depends. I mean, look, if you're a financial entity, then maybe it might be worthwhile setting in the financial areas.
Yeah,
You have
the IFC,
DIFC or you have ADGM, which is Abu Dhabi Global Market. So, but for most e-commerce businesses, to be fair, you're mainly, unless you have a specific that you want within your business there for maybe networking or other reasons like that, you're looking for a trusted free zone, which most of them in the UAE all really are.
Yeah.
But it's kind of really, you want something as low cost as possible, but also as well that enables you to have a bank account, because
Yes.
you need the bank account. Opening a bank account here can be quite difficult as well. I won't go through our specific, because we've put it all together to
Yes,
stop all that
yes.
headache out. We've given a couple of different options, but what we've done is source the best free zones that really fit within what exactly an Amazon seller or an e-commerce business will need. And in that process as well, the owner, you will need to get the bank account open. You will need to, as the business owner, get a visa here as well.
Yes.
But again, with Safari Star, and again, especially now for Amazon, because we are now also part of the SPN.
Yes.
So we are, I think we're the only one, I believe, actually, for VAT now.
For
mainly.
VAT, yeah.
Yeah. So we've put something together for you guys.
Yeah.
It's available. It's actually under.
You're going to find it linked in the description box of the video for sure.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So you can understand a little bit more.
And we just take all the headache
Yeah.
out of it. That's what we're here to do. Is
So a lot of people, Stephen, also recently, with the announcement of the 9% corporate tax, now people are saying, oh, maybe Dubai is no longer a haven. I find that specifically with working with a lot of international customers and having branches outside of the UAE, it was actually a really good thing, because the UAE was removed off of the grey list, so we no longer have an issue. So it was a positive change for me and our business. However, what type of information should somebody know if they're starting out? So for people who are starting out, they're registering a business and they want to get into Amazon, selling on Amazon. What are the details that they need to know about tax compliance, VAT maybe?
Yeah, I mean, taxes in terms of, you just hit the nail on the head. The main point now is the 9% corporate tax on the net profits.
Yeah.
Now, this is quite like a lot of things that you have when they're new. There is quite a lot of confusion.
You're right.
There is still a little bit of lack of clarity, because there are certain thresholds that you need to hit before it's applicable. There are also other ways, depending on where you're setting up, that you might be able to mitigate some of them.
Yep.
So to give you the specifics in terms of that part, it's something we do. Generally, for most clients, though, what they're going to need is more going to be the ongoing actual bookkeeping of accounts to then make that, when you're doing your yearly tax returns or corporate tax there for the 9% from the net profits, that is when that makes it very, very easier for you to do. Okay.
So let's jump straight into it and let's talk about Amazon Saudi. We obviously, both of our companies have been really, really excited about the opportunity of selling on Amazon in Saudi. Lots of different sellers are also equally as excited. And to be fully transparent with everyone, obviously as it is a new option and opportunity, we're also trying to give you as much information as possible. So let's talk about somebody that wants to get started selling on Amazon Saudi. There is no longer the option of somebody becoming an individual seller like there is here in the UAE. So they already have to have a business entity. Now, there are a lot of people that don't understand that on Amazon, you can sell, for example, in the UAE, but not necessarily have a UAE business license, even though there are lots of value in having a UAE specifically business license, but you don't need to. You can have a business license in another country, such as the UK. You can have an LTD as an example, or an LLC in the US. However, the same does apply also to Saudi, but is it easy to open a business in Saudi? Is it easy for anyone that's starting out and wants to get into the Amazon space?
Okay, so it's very, very interesting point.
Yeah.
Okay, so first point, I think, to make all the society and everyone understand in the e-commerce world, actually, firstly, when it comes to e-commerce platforms, Amazon effectively is the only e-commerce platform that you can actually sell into Saudi Arabia.
Correct.
Okay, which is huge. Namely, that is because you need a tax registration ID number, which you can't get at the moment, which I'll go into after as well. So it's where it makes it more complex. So it's possible to send it into Saudi Arabia. That means as long as you're part of the Amazon SPN network, okay, then you can sell effectively into it as long as it's a business account, not an individual account. Now, actually, I believe not all of the network is sometimes possible to sell into Saudi Arabia.
True, depending on the product.
Depending on the product. So I think Sabre has a list of products that's agreed upon. However, what we've found at the moment is actually it's easier to set up a Amazon business into the UAE, which is the route then to sell into Saudi Arabia. Okay, so, and this is again comes into what we're saying, right? So we have a solution to be able to set a e-commerce Amazon seller's business within the correct free zone, do all of the work to set that company up, and then that enables you to sell into Saudi Arabia. Okay, so Saudi Arabia, the government are actually encouraging to sell into the country. Now here comes the confusing or difficult part that we face.
Hold on, Stephen. Because it is quite difficult to register a business in Saudi.
Okay.
Not because Saudi doesn't want us to be there.
Right, sorry, good point. So firstly, the reason being is that in Saudi Arabia, there isn't a license activity. So what they have is they have something called an ISIC code sheet, which is an activity spreadsheet with every single activity that you can do with your business in Saudi. Then what they do is they categorize them into certain areas. So you have service activities, you have trading license activities, professional license, and so on and so forth. So at the moment, e-commerce doesn't have an activity in Saudi. What you would look at, because we're selling, obviously, is that selling would be falling under a trading license activity, in the same way as importing and exporting is a trading license activity. Now, if you're not an e-commerce business, a general trading business, for a foreign-owned company to do trading activities in Saudi, there's a 30 million Saudi Riyal capital requirement.
Oh, just that.
Just that. So around about $7-8 million.
It's fine.
Also, you need to put 175 million Saudi Riyals into that business over a 5-year period. And this is for 100% foreign ownership. So
that's certainly worth it if you're actually trading. But since you're doing an e-commerce business, it's obviously not...
100%. Yeah, it's not an e-commerce model. I mean, to be fair, even in a general trading, look, unless you're, Louis Vuitton, BMW, or a large international, it's not really permissible. So at the moment, as it stands, what you would look at the closest activity until MISA, until the Saudi government create an e-commerce license activity, there's a little bit of limbo within the tax authority. Okay, so the VAT, because when you're paying, in Saudi you pay 15% VAT. Okay, so you need to register with the tax authority, which is called ZATGA. Okay. At the moment, there's an issue with a bit of confusion, I think, from two different government entities in terms of there isn't an e-commerce license, but how does that e-commerce license work? At the moment, when it comes to registering for your VAT in Saudi, Zakka at the moment are actually rejecting that until this solutions is put in there. So effectively, to set up an e-commerce business as it stands at the moment, a commercial setup of a business, which is again what we do as well, it's not possible to do it until we get an e-commerce activity.
Yeah.
Okay. But that then means it doesn't mean you cannot sell into Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
And this is where we come back into the point of what we've created for the Amazon Seller Society as a solution from there. So as it stands, there's no issues with using Amazon. In fact, it's the only network, which is an advantage to all of our clients, to sell into Saudi Arabia. What will happen? We will register their VAT. Okay, they register the company for VAT with Zakka. Zakka will send a rejection letter. Okay.
Yeah.
And what that will mean, absolutely fine. So you will continue to sell into Saudi Arabia. Okay. Yes, you will not be able to make your 15% VAT payments on every purchase or invoice that's been produced. Okay. So when this issue is resolved, you will need to back pay on the 15% on the invoices or purchases that have been made. But what we would then do, as long as we register you for that and it's been rejected, it means that when it's sorted, you will not incur any penalties. Okay, which is really, really important.
Certainly.
Otherwise, so effectively, a company or an Amazon seller right now using the Amazon network can sell into Saudi Arabia. They cannot pay their VAT is the issue.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Stephen, for all of the information. Very insightful. We decided, me and you, that we want to just give general information, and anyone that's interested, you could just reach out to Safari Star directly and understand a little bit more about this process, because honestly, it is quite unique in a sense where it depends on a lot of factors related to you, your position, what you want to do. So it's a little bit difficult to just give you a general video about it. With that being said, Stephen, my last question is, because I do meet a lot of people that, follow us, are part of the society, but they're still on the fence, not really understanding whether or not this is a valuable business model for them. Specifically, people who are, for example, full-time employed and they're looking for a second business, as we all do. Everybody likes to have, nowadays, we all strive to make the most of our time and the money that we're making. But I find a lot of people are still not sure about the markets here. They're still always looking at the grass always grows greener on the other side, or something like that, meaning like they're always thinking, oh, maybe I should go to Europe, maybe I should focus on the US markets. Obviously, there are a lot of advantages, but we are working with a lot of sellers here in the UAE, and we see the advantages here. But based on all of the clients that you serve and you work with, what have you seen, and why do you find that clients, specifically you work mostly with international clients as well, why are they so interested in the region, and why should people who are living here, why they should be also interested in the region?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many reasons, really. I mean, look, let's take global economics in general. We've just come out of COVID. COVID, well, we were some time out of COVID, but we're still having the impact of COVID.
True.
I think that's really rattled the tree if you look at what's going on politically around the world nowadays.
Certainly.
There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of places, Europe, US, markets, the growth, GDP it's been a bit stagnant. I think a lot of the shining light, which has made everything in the Western world a little bit better, has been the growth of AI, which has kind of hedged everything else to be not as bad as what it actually is, But when you're looking at, if you look at the amount of people that are looking to actually live in Dubai, the UAE, for example, the quality of life here, it used to be the Middle East a hardship area. That's how it used to be classed. Again, with being out of the grey zone, as you say, everything now crime figures, you know, one of the most safest cities in the world, you know, for example, Dubai, or most countries in the world.
Yeah.
You're looking at opportunities there that I was saying earlier about, you know, you go to Saudi, the range of products, it's minimal.
Yeah.
It's tiny,
Yeah.
you know. You've got a population of billions, you know, of people, if you look at the Middle East in general, that have always had a very narrow product range, you
Correct.
know. Now that is open to them, but not just that. You know, the amount of actual expats that are looking to escape recession, escape the, you know, we've got nice weather here.
Weather,
you know,
I was going to say, come to nice weather, yeah.
Weather, clean country. Where else has that opportunity on earth, in my opinion? You know?